Dear sisters and brothers, I'd like to take this opportunity to greet you with my best wishes for a happy new year. And let's make it a happy year, okay? All depends on us. And as of today, January the 2nd, 2022, I'm starting a new series of broadcasts called the Time Chronicles, where I'd like to talk about time. Not only time though, but about timelines and related to other knowledge settings. Maybe it's worth referring here to my recently published book called ARQ2 Orion, A Dream Truth. And as I narrate in this book of mine, where I walk you through creating a brand new timeline, you can have more details there. And it is the timeline of all times. Let me remind you, it's not an ordinary timeline, what I'm talking about. But today, let's focus on time and where the word time comes from. It has a Germanic origin, Tima, meaning tide. Actually, time means Zeit or Zit in German. It is hard to pronounce, right? Tide means, or Tima means something happening in a given duration. The time in Hebrew is Tzman. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And let me say that the language of the heavens resemble German, slightly mixed with Hebrew. Latin, on the other hand, is a very strong language, and time means temp, meaning season, actually. On the other hand, the language that is used for programming the magnetic fields on Earth is Turkish. It is a mixture of Sirius and Orion codes. It raises humanity with a broadcast of codes radiating from the land, Turkey, the country. Turkish language actually uses the codes. It's similar to the Latin language, so it is like a computer language in another language. It is programming us without us acknowledging it. Turkish language uses frequencies carried by the letters, and this is utilized to create a strong magnetic field. This is the raw material of human consciousness and building blocks of timelines. So magnetic fields are very important for our survival. It is, of course, not a coincidence that 7 broadcasting lines start from Turkey to continue their broadcasting to all over the world. I'll talk about it in detail about this in another section, I promise. And now coming back to the language, perhaps it is easier to understand English, for instance, right? And this is a language that is designed to carry the frequency of meaning. Meaning helps to bring people to a common understanding, thereby a common denominator, and to understand a common reason why we are all standing on earth. And therefore, it's a very unifying language, if you ask me. And that's why I make this session in English. Sometimes I'm going to make it in Turkish. Letter frequencies, the Turkish letter frequencies, resonances, which help to raise the humans via the magnetic fields, and meaning frequencies, on the other hand, like English meaning frequencies, help to bring people to a common denominator, common understanding. And I really promise to prepare another broadcast on the issue of relationship between the language and the magnetic fields, because I believe it's very, very critical to understand. But now, coming back to time, so it's coming, keep in mind, from a Germanic origin, tide, meaning time, coming and going, okay? And it's a tidal move, a rhythmic resonance that actually we are all integrated into, right, in this setting. Chron is the Greek word as the root of time. If you ask me, Greek language is the root archive language. It is transiting across the timelines because Chronos, the creator of time, is like a godfather creating the time and the integrated, the simulation where we all live in. So this is a closed perspective of time. It is a closed, like a box. Okay, we're living in the box, and it is designated with time. So it is like a tide, a given period of a duration, and what is being done within this duration. In order to exit this existing timeline, in order to graduate from this timeline properly, we have to understand it profoundly and from the starting point to its ending point. So it depends on us to understand. And we have to understand why it all has been created. Maybe Chronos, the Chron, a concept of royalty, is also perception, right? It's a deep connotation here. And I believe we are all royals taking part in this timeline as the candidates of graduates to a grand timeline, a bigger timeline, timeline of all timelines. And this is why I chose to name this broadcast as Chronicles, because it comes from Chrome. It comes of a perception origin and a royal origin. It is called the Time Chronicles. That's why I like to call my broadcast this way. I am really an admirer of true knowledge, and what I like to do is to unify the knowledge sets from various sources and analyzing the time, which actually does not exist. Time does not exist unless we name it. So it is, we have to name it from the perspectives of various slices of knowledge sets. And one precious perspective comes from the law of time. Today is a point in time with its unique features. Every day is unique. And today is January 2nd, 2022, as I said before, and it's called the Yellow Resonant Seed Day, according to the knowledge of the law of time, built by Jose Aguilera. The law of time is based on 13 months, composed of 28 days. And when you multiply 13 times 28, you get 364 days. And therefore, we have one day called the day out of time. It is July 25th, which happens to be the wedding anniversary of my beloved parents, and may they be blessed forever with love. So July 26th is the beginning of the new year then, right? For instance, the name of the time period between the dates, July 26, 2021 and July 25, 2022 is called Yellow Electrical Seed. So today we focus on resonance because it's really the nice day, Yellow Resonant Seed Day. So imagine a seed, it's resonating, and we are in a period of yellow electrical seed. Again, another seed. So today we focus on resonance of electricity, which is the raw material of the electromagnetic fields built by chains of thoughts, formed by letter and meaning frequencies. I know it's hard to grasp. So imagine a nice resonance. It's a resonance of electricity. And electricity is the raw material for the electromagnetic fields. And where does this electricity come from? It comes from the chains of thought. Yes, we don't have just thoughts, we have chains of thoughts. And these are formed by the letter and meaning frequencies. Okay, try to perhaps digest this information. And we are experiencing today as the day of the Yellow Resonant Seed within the time period called the Yellow Electrical Seed. So, January 2nd. This is the second day of the new year, as we know, based on the Gregorian calendar. But of course, different set of knowledges have different beginnings for the new year, such as July 26th is the first day of the new year according to the law of time. And we know, for instance, that the Chinese New Year Eve is February 18th, which happens to be my birthday, and January 19th is the first day of the new year, which is based on a prevailing universal knowledge set. And I already am aware that the Gregorian calendar is full of errors for indicating the time. It was created in the year 1582 by Pope VIII Gregorius, and each year there is a deviation of 10.8 seconds. And if a time of 8,000 years would pass, this deviation would add up to 1 day. So it is important to get to know other perspectives of time. We cannot rely on just one perspective, I believe. So let me repeat, today is the day of the Yellow Resonant Seed within the time period called the Yellow Electrical Seed. And my interpretation for today is that it is a very strong electrical light seed of consciousness will be planted during this period of time, and we will witness its flourishing very soon. Electricity, as you know, can be both useful and dangerous, depending on the level of consciousness. Just like an atom, it can be a bomb or it can be used as a utility. So it is up to the humanity to choose which path to take. Isn't it always like that, dear sisters and brothers? So, by the way, let me tell you that the picture I put at the beginning of this video is created by AI. It's an AI endorsed art, actually. When you give the AI the words yellow electrical seed, it carries actually the frequency of today, and it's portrayed visually on a picture. And another hint about the format of this broadcast today, it's just an audio, as you know, audio broadcast, because it has a seed of frequency that is carried by the words. It is a meaning, a frequency of meaning. That's why I do it in English. And I'm very much honored to forward this meaning to you. Actually, it's not something I invented. It's a conglomeration, a compound, actually unified frequency from many knowledge sets. And a visual broadcast would be nice, yes, me speaking with my face on the screen, but it will be less stronger to carry the frequency, because the frequency should not be destroyed by visuals. For actually the average human consciousness, I know many of you would understand the reason why I chose to make an audio broadcast, because the frequency is more important here. Of course, I promise to make visual ones as well on some other days with other needs of frequency, but today is not one of them. January 2nd is an important day, and it's a new moon, for instance, and the well-trusted astrologers say that the new moon will be beautifully angled to Uranus, bringing very exciting developments and changes to our lives. I hope so. nice changes, I hope. And personally, I personally favor listen to the Vedic astrologers, because since it's more closer to the spiritual knowledge, in my opinion, according to my point of view, current point of, let's say, I may change my point of view. I mean, there might be others that I might listen to, but I personally like to listen to broadcasts of Johnny Patry in English and Maya Köseoğlu in Turkish, if I want to have a deeper understanding of the details of astrological analysis of the day. Currently, I'm not an astrologer, and I personally, as a personal standpoint, let me say, I prefer to stay at a meta astrology point. It's quite a legitimate point, I think, where I stand. It's fashion right now to have a metaverse perspective, so it's a meta astrology standpoint. I know there's a lot spiritual knowledge beyond astrology, but astrology is also very important to catch the attention of the, let's say, mediocre understanding. Okay, it's the where the people look up to the skies and try to understand the reasons of what they are experiencing on Earth by looking at the relationships and the impulses from the skies. So it's important in my opinion, but I know many friends who are listening today to this broadcast are far beyond that. That's why I want to leave the astrological analysis to someone else, and you may listen to. There are many people who are working on this very nicely, so you can follow them. And you can follow me also on the YouTube channel so that you can get the notifications for my broadcasts. So, what does all of these tell us is, I would like to say it's something beautiful, something wonderful is about to happen. And we are here to witness it. We have chosen it. We have chosen to be here. We have chosen to be together here. So please keep that in mind. And let's appreciate the time. And let's appreciate the timeline we are living in, because we are about to graduate from it. So, thank you for listening to it's about the 18 minutes broadcast. And of course, it's not a coincidence that it's 18 minutes. I didn't arrange it, by the way. Thank you very much for your valuable attention and precious time.